Now the question is why women are given half and men are given twice as much. The answer is very simple. Because men are made responsible for running the wheel of economy in homes, for maintaining the houses. Women are not obliged to do that. According to Islam, it is man who is responsible for looking after his home, for providing all the needs and requirements of his wife and his children. And wife is free to do whatever she pleases with her money. So it is not cruelty at all that men are given twice as much of the share. Logic would have us, perhaps more would also be needed. But God showed special kindness to ladies and gave them half of the inheritance of their brothers with no responsibilities, like the responsibilities placed on male members. You follow this?
In Holland it dates from 1958.
Is that right?
Before that time the wife was not allowed to have her own capital.
Yes, yes. In 58. In England it happened later on. As far as I remember, it was in 60s, early 60s, that the law was passed about the wife having her own property. And previously she could not own anything. They close their eyes to these customs and things in the civilized world and always find fault with Islam, where the fault doesn't lie. Yes, please.
Before the advent of Islam, the Arabs were circumcising the women.
Yes.
And when Islam came, it disappeared.
Yes.
And the United Nations today is estimating that 70 million women in Africa are being circumcised. So why the Ahmadiyya Jamaat, being the remnant of Islam, is not taking a strong stand against this?
We are taking very strong stance against that. You see, only recently I was told of a quarrel in a chiefdom where an Ahmadi stood up and said to the chief, "This may be your custom, my religion does not permit me, and I am not going to participate in such nonsense." And no Ahmadi would do that. So there was a big row, and ultimately the chief bowed down. And it was decided that all Ahmadis would be exempt from this. It happened only recently. And not only this, but in so many other areas of ignorance, Ahmadis are picking up great fight against the dark African customs. For instance, when a chief dies, even now, it's not a matter of the past, he is beheaded after death. And his head is kept to be put onto the body of the next chief, whose head will also be beheaded after death. So what happens is the heads are swapped. That if somebody dies today, his head is severed and it is kept preserved. And in his head's place, the head of the previous chief, which is preserved, is put on to his body. But that is not all. What happens is that large number of innocent people are murdered before the burial of this chief, and their heads are also severed and they are buried along with the chief. The bigger the chief, the larger number of heads would roll down. It also happened in Kumasi, you see. I had heard of that, I couldn't believe it. But when I visited Kumasi this time, I asked Khuddam, "Isn't it right?" He said, "Of course it is right." And they told me a very interesting story. He said, Ahmadis are very cautious. So when the last chief was approaching his death, they kept it secret because otherwise people would run away from the town, all of them. So they kept it very secret, but somehow the news got around and they sent the Ahmadi missionary away. He said, please leave the town, it's no safe place for you. Then the Khuddam organized a body to protect people from these bands of the chief's tribe. And surprisingly, while they were roaming the streets, voluntarily, suddenly someone jumped from the bush to attack one of the Khuddam, and they caught him, overpowered him, and he happened to be an Ahmadi Khadim. And they was astounded. He said, what do you mean, you? He said, I didn't know you were Ahmadis. He said, what do you mean by not Ahmadis? You were human beings. You also joined this? He said, I didn't know that. I thought it was all right. So these customs prevail. But as far as this circumcision of ladies, it's a very cruel, very ugly tradition against which I know Ahmadis have rebelled. And again, it is not found everywhere in Africa. Wherever there is Islamic influence, this custom is already being rooted out. In the Christian areas, it is more present than in Muslim areas. So once I remember one English lady asked me this question and said, it is a very Bohemian Islamic tradition. I said, what do you mean by Islamic? It is not Islamic at all. Islam did away with it. It was an old Arab tradition which may have come from Africa in those days. And even today in Africa, among Christian or pagan Africa, this tradition is common. Yes, please.
I want to ask that Islam give a permission that a father can be married with his son's sister-in-law.
Pardon?
A father can be married with his son's sister-in-law. With his son's sister-in-law.
The father can be married with
his son's sister-in-law.
His son's sister-in-law. Yes? Yes, it is possible. But it's not advised. I mean, don't start looking for sons, sisters-in-law. That's all I say. And don't publish my answer in any newspaper, please. Yes, please.
For how long can one remember a loved deceased one in prayers?
For how long?
Yes, please.
As long as you can. Of course, it's a very good thing to remember your dead relations or friends as well, and to remember them in prayer as long as you live. It's a very good habit, and the best way to repay them their kindness. कौन?
कुरान के वर्ष मुझे नहीं समझ आती है।
क्या समझाइए, बताइए।
Prophet Moses caught Harun's hair and dragged him. Why before analyzing the situation and knowing the things beforehand?
अब खुदा ने जो कहा है कि उन्होंने ये कहा कि मुझे मेरी दाढ़ी से ना पकड़ो, कहीं ये भी कहा है कि हज़रत मूसा ने पकड़ा हुआ था दाढ़ी से? नहीं, लोग नहीं कहते, मैं आपसे पूछ रहा हूँ। नहीं ना कहा, ये क्या वजह है? कहना ये चाहिए था खुदा को कि हज़रत मूसा ने जाते ही दाढ़ी पकड़ ली। उसकी बजाय अल्लाह ताला ये कहता है कि हारून ने कहा कि मुझे मेरी दाढ़ी से न पकड़ो। Hazrat Muslim Maud, please sit down. He says one verse of the Holy Quran I cannot understand properly, cannot digest what it means. That Moses, when he returned from his audience with God and found that idolatry had again spread, while Aaron was appointed as a deputy behind him, under